Starting our next pair of mushrooms, not necessarily as easy as a comparison as shiitake and maitake. Trametes versicolor. Best name is turkey tail. I like to call the photograph there kind of like rosette instead of the tail, so they can be more in a circular pattern, but often they are kind of like a turkey tail or maybe even that other bird type of fantails. Trametes versicolor is the correct name right now. Uh, you may still, I have reference in these slides to a Coriolis versicolor. It is the same. Every now and then you still might see Polyporus versicolor. That name's really old. Um, Kawaratake is the Japanese name, refers to cloud mushroom. I can see a little bit of clouds associated with it. There is a TCM name, Yuanzi, also a chi tonic, also has some cough in it. I did find a reference that it was used in Central America to treat skin conditions, mostly infectious, so HPV and ringworm. This is also something that grows all over around here. I do find this more colorful in the fall. There's another little YouTube video that I have for turkey tail lookalikes. You do need to see the lines. You do need to look at the underside. This is a polypore. If you look underneath and it's kind of flat, it is considered a parchment. Reminds me of naga hide compared to leather. So really light texture. So turkey tail also contains polysaccharides, beta-glucans. In this form, it's called PSK or polysaccharide K or Crestin. With the coughing, I don't know if you heard me cough. So an antiviral activity, this has that same kind of cytotoxic natural killer cells. It also stimulates interferon. Also, and I have found preclinical data for this, increasing bifido, decreasing, now this one was in humans, or at least the human cell culture when stimulated, Clostridium, Enterococcus, and some Staphylococcus. So feed your flora. I wanted to bring out a couple of studies here. So turkey tail was really made famous by the mycological author and researcher, and I think he was originally an amateur that studied some of the magic mushrooms way back in the day, actually studied them as organisms. So he created formulations, and one of those formulations was used in this study. So his name is Paul Stamets. He has fungi, imperfecti. You can buy growing kits from him. He has several books. Mycological Immortals. I'm so sorry. I always blank on the supplement name. Even though it is still one of the supplements, I do recommend to patients. So phase 1 clinical trial of Trametes versicolor in women with breast cancer. So the last author, Dr. Standish, is one of the researchers at Bastyr. This was correlated in its planning with Bastyr. And one of Paul Stamets' TED's talks, he does talk about his mother using Trametes versicolor for his breast cancer, which is a really moving story. So this is a small group of people, 2-center study, and this showed that 9 grams of Trametes versicolor a day, safe and tolerable, possibly improving immune benefit. In the story of Paul Stamets' mother, she had a much greater lifespan. I do believe she's still alive last time I checked, which was not very long ago. So 2012. The most recent study, 2017, using the old name, Coriolis versicolor, these were mostly males or mixed genders with advanced liver cancer. So how did this really put into what's going on with the cancer? You know, there was really no difference in the outcomes. However, the patients had better quality of life, including cognitive effect. So again, that biological response modifier really supporting the patient during this time. So turkey tail, probably the most studied for cancer support. Now I contrast this to fungi I like to think about as a cloud mushroom, lion's mane, Hericium ursinus. Around here we have an Hericium coriolis, and so kind of like if you think about the hairs of this, how they flow down, are much bigger. Um, so lion's mane, because it looks like that mane. This to me looks like a cloud mushroom, if I didn't say that earlier. Now I have seen this sold as pom-pom mushroom. So if you look on Amazon, I meant to look up the store. There's a store, there's three branches of it. They're fairly new in the Chicago region. They are from Ohio, I believe. Um, so if you are interested in what Chicagoland store has had this for sale, I've bought it. It was sold as pom-pom. Also, the Asian H Mart has had this sold as pom-pom. In Chinese medicine, Oriental medicine, there's some references for digestive support, so probably a little bit of a spleen qi tonic. Now, this one's a little bit different in how we would use this. It does have polysaccharides. Aracinines, that's how I'm going to call that, aracinine A, has really been shown to promote nerve growth factor. Now, most of this is preclinical data. Also protecting against the neurotoxicity from beta amyloid plaques, which are, of course, hopefully you remember this associated with dementia, especially Alzheimer's disease. So great potential. Here is a nice little preclinical illustration. Of course, I don't have the citation or PubMed article here. So if you look at the corners, using this for ischemic stroke, which is a little bit cardiovascular, a little bit neurological, Parkinson's, mostly neurological, Alzheimer's, this whole bottom part there. So really good preclinical evidence to consider. I've only had it once. I think it's very nice. I think it's very bland. The hairs are a little bit awkward. People compare this to lobster. Now here's our study. This is from 2008. It's often cited. It's a double-blind placebo-controlled. It's not randomized if I recall right. Cognitive impairment, mild cognitive impairment with mushroom consumption, 250 milligrams, 95% dry, but 3 times a day. So there were improvement. These patients, their cognition declined when they discontinued. So we did turkey tail with this. We did lion's mane. The last one was shiitake and maitake. Now we've got 4 medicinal mushrooms. All of these are quite popular. There'll be more coming up in the next segment.